How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to episode 4 of the Wunder Bar Podcast. Jesus Christ, it's been a while since the last episode. Revive, do you want to tell them when was the last episode of the Wunder Bar Podcast?
Yeah, it was about 5 seconds after the last map came out, which was in freaking January. So yeah, it's been a while.
Oh man, it's been a while. And yeah, I just want to say, guys, I apologize. I think the only other video I uploaded within the month was the Tomb pranked solo. And yeah, it wasn't really much. It was kind of insane how, you know, we only got cranked and like that was the only content I could really record, and I didn't even record a commentary and such on it because I was like, I was just doing it for fun, and then I just ended up recording it. And I was like, you know what, let me just upload it as something. Um, but I could have done the other maps and such, but everyone already does it, and that's pretty much my problem with like, how content goes on YouTube is like you gotta find something unique, but like just uploading the same thing as other people's like it's kind of pointless in a way because you just upload it and you really don't see any growth from it and such. So that's kind of been a little bit demotivating for me and such. And also there just hasn't been a lot of stuff to really talk about in terms of zombies. We can continue talking about the AI situation, all that stuff, but it's like it's the same thing. Nothing has really changed. But finally, after a long, long time, um, TLC 3, the mansion has been teased as of today. So before we get into that, just quick update on channel related stuff. I know I said stuff has been demotivating and such, but the Wonder Bar podcast is going to continue. So whenever a lot of news comes out in terms of Call of Duty, zombies, etc., you know we will talk about it and such, and also you know put it in the comment section below any topics you want us to discuss. We love to talk about story stuff, and we are going to go deep into the story later on. But yeah, we want to keep the podcast going. I think I actually enjoy the podcast more, and I think that's going to be my bread and butter for the time being until I figure out what I really want to do with zombies content. But yeah, that's pretty much. And then just in general for me as a person, I just been doing other stuff. I just been playing Minecraft and watching Daredevil and such. So yeah, I apologize for the long delay of videos and such, but we're gonna get back on track soon. And yeah, once April 3rd hits, we're going to be entering the mansion once and for all. So here we go. Let me showcase the teaser image that we got today. And yeah, it's basically the mansion that we see in the distance from Liberty Falls. So Revived, how do you feel about this teaser? Well, first off, this was a surprise drop today. Who expected a zombies teaser after the Verdansk teaser since yesterday?
Yeah, no, I did not. I was like, wait. I was like, when I checked it, I'm like, wait a minute, what? I scrolled past on my phone. I'm like, wait a minute, did that just say Treyarch? And I'm like, wait a second. I checked it again. I'm like, what the hell? So I was like, I was surprised they did a marketing today because usually they like to spread things out more of marketing.
hmm
But it's crazy. They started it right now, which we should probably get stuff every day this week.
Yeah. I think maybe tomorrow we might get multiplayer. Maybe something for multiplayer. I don't think
Well,
they
no,
really do
because
a
I
lot.
think what they do is they when they do this, they do the teasers every day for zombies, and usually it either leads up to a cutscene or a trailer. So like they did this with
Yeah.
Liberty Falls, they did this with a lot of Terminus. They even did it with like they did with Citadel. If they do it with all the maps. Really, the
hmm
only one that didn't happen was the Tomb, because
The
but even the
tomb.
Tomb we got images. It was just in like a different way, where they
Yeah.
kind of gave us like a bunch of images. But this way they've done it. They usually do it where they like tease up to something, and it looks like that's what's gonna happen here.
Yeah. So just looking at the calendar so far, Um, from this Thursday, um, we have 1, 2, 3 weeks left. So obviously, the way the marketing always works in terms of Call of Duty, the way that me and you know it, right? Usually, the week before is roadmap stuff. The
Mhm.
big blog posts and such. So, as you said, maybe this week we could possibly get the cutscene. Maybe the following week, next week, could be maybe a gameplay trailer, possibly. I'm not super sure we'll see that just yet because, considering the way they did the Tomb, like the gameplay trailer was only like a minute. It wasn't like that big of a gameplay trailer and such. And
Yeah.
obviously the gameplay trailers for zombies for the DLC season alone, they're not gonna be as big as they were before and such. And I don't expect anything crazy and such. But maybe that's the marketing schedule and such. Um so it'll be interesting to see if at the end of this week we'll have a intro cutscene for the map. Um, but yeah, we're heading to the mansion, which is a shock because before BO6 came out, we all thought the mansion was going to be DLC 4, right? Um,
Yeah.
and the Janus Towers was supposed to be DLC 3, but it seems that we are just flipping, I guess. Maybe the mansion comes first and then Janus Towers comes second, or after that, or maybe the Janus Towers is just maybe something else. Maybe it's just a name that we thought was supposed
Yeah,
to be in
maybe we
Liberty Falls.
misinterpreted it. Yeah, well, it
Yeah.
could, because really
Mhm.
it could mean a lot of different things. The mansion was pretty, ever since the Liberty Falls trailer, it was pretty distinct. Like, okay, this is definitely a map in the future
Mhm.
because it just made sense. But like, Janus Towers could be kind of anything, really. It's not
Mhm.
really a location we specifically have seen yet. So yeah, I think this one it kind of makes sense now looking though, because like it makes sense that we would eventually meet up um with the same AI, so it kind of makes sense how we're going to here like a pit stop kind of
Yeah.
thing. Because especially after getting the artifact, we kind of did that. We did that main goal, and now we're setting off to the next part.
Yeah, cuz I think I said it in the last podcast that what's it called? Terminus is like chapter 1, and then Citadel and the Tomb is like two maps in one single chapter. So now
Yeah,
I think we're entering the final chapter of the whole Sentinel artifact, journey and such. We already got it. Now we're gonna see what we're gonna end up doing
yeah.
with it and such.
We're entering like the what's it called? The not the finale, but like the precursor to the finale. What do they call it again?
I think
Um,
Act 2, we could
no,
maybe
like
Act 2.
what do they call the
Oh,
episode
the
that's not
climax.
no, not climax. What do they call the episode right before the like the
Oh,
finale of the
the
show? The
penultimate.
penultimate. Yeah, we're heading into the penultimate arc of this game, I would say.
Okay.
This is
Yeah,
this is the
that's a good way to
penultimate
see
arc.
in this. Yep, that's a good way to
Yeah.
put it. Um, so yeah, I mean, this is insane that we're getting DLC 3 in April. Unheard of. What zombies mode had a DLC 3 release in
Yeah.
April?
And people are like, well, like if people were like doubting the fact we're getting 5 maps, like I don't know what to tell you. We're getting the third map in April. Like you think there's only gonna be one more map until the next game? Like no. There's
Yeah,
definitely gonna
yeah.
be
There's
two.
definitely gonna be a fifth DLC. That's that's honestly gonna happen. I mean,
Yeah.
there's no way there's gonna just be one more map after this one.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense. They're not gonna leave zombies with a major gap.
Yeah.
So far the only things we know is Mansion and Janus Towers. That's all we know so far. So the mansion here, while it's, probably gonna set up Janus Towers and such, maybe there's gonna be teases of what's to come for the fifth DLC. So very excited to see how that all plays out and such. And just looking at the teaser again, this is taking place on February 28th, 1991. So that is 3 days. is like 3 days after the events of Citadel and the Tomb, as Citadel and the
Mhm.
Tomb took place on the same day, and then it's been a week since the outbreak at Terminus and Liberty Falls. I think the outbreak in Liberty Falls ended. It was on what day? I remember it was the day that Blanchard was talking with General Miller as a child. It was February 20, I think it was 23rd or maybe 21st. I'm not super sure on that.
I
Um
think 23rd, I think.
I think
That
23rd
sounds right.
maybe. I could probably fact check that quickly. Let me just look up Blanchard, the Go Blanchard. Blanchard
Yep.
is gonna make an appearance finally. Everyone's favorite zombies character for Black Ops 6.
Mhm. That
February
is true.
23rd. February 23rd it was.
Yeah.
Alright, so perfect. So yeah, the outbreak in Liberty Falls has ended, and then 5 days later, we're gonna be arriving at the mansion here. Um, and just based on the image itself, it looks like this might be a intro cutscene possibly, because I don't see like a mystery box light, I don't see any perk machines, I don't see any wall buys. Well, what do you think? Is this like a clip out of the
Yeah,
intro
I mean,
cutscene?
well, it even says, like, so we see the quote, right, obviously, of personal log, Edward Richthofen recording.
Mhm.
So, what my mind immediately goes to is, what if this is some sort of, like, I don't even know, like, it just seems weird, like, it's I would admit initially, I would think it's, a part of the cutscene, like the quote, right?
Mhm.
But I'm not sure. It's gonna be interesting to see what I'm trying to think. What they do? What did the captions were weird with the tune, weren't they? With the tune
Yeah,
teasers,
the I think for the tomb, if I
they
could
had
just
the
pull that
text
up.
on the actual pictures, right?
Yeah, and then I think they
No,
just typed it out.
this is different. This is actually like this, I'm pretty sure this is what they did with the launch ones, right? With Liberty Falls. I'm pretty sure. I'm gonna try to
Mhm.
see if I can find it.
Yeah, I'm gonna actually look that up too. But
The Liberty Falls one.
I'm gonna look that up as well here. But just continuing on here, it also looks like this image is from like a camera screen because it says motor court at a specific time, and you can see it's a little bit staticky. So it looks like this is a camera or like a camera that's pointed outside the mansion. Now,
Mhm.
what could that entail? Maybe this is how the cutscene starts. Maybe this is, um, the Sam AI waiting for us to arrive there. We're gonna arrive in the front door and such. Um, and yeah, we're gonna, make our way down to the laboratory down there because we know there's a huge laboratory downstairs. Because that's where the Sam AI was. Okay, so I found the thing here. So these images for the tomb, they put quotes that what's his name? Archibald, uh, what he says, or I think it was in the radios that he says these things, and then it's just quoted on the image, and then they just Treyarch just says, "Seek out the door to nowhere," and it's just the image of the Nexus, the Dark Ether
Yeah, it wasn't a
Nexus.
quote from a character.
Yeah, so there's a huge possibility that this is a tease for an intro cutscene. Now, is it gonna drop this week? I really hope so, cause I need some story stuff, man. I've been patient. You know, we've been waiting for the Tomb intro cutscene, and it
For
never
real.
happened.
And
It
and
was
the outro didn't do much more. Jesus Christ.
the story in the Tomb was super super lackluster. Like it's kind of insane how like you have this whole map dedicated to the Sentinel artifact, and you really don't hear much, and you only get and for people who like really cared about the chaos story like myself, like we only got name drop Scarlet and Shaw, and that's pretty much it. And then pretty much after that is like nothing. There's nothing else. And I just think it's kind of funny, like some of the stuff that happens in the map. What's Archibald literally is about to claim the artifact, and he sees I think it was a beer, and he's like an alcoholic or something. So he goes to the beer, and it was a mimic.
Oh my god.
And that's how he died. He did that entire trial process just to die to a mimic. I think that's probably the most funniest story plot I've ever seen for a zombies map. But yeah, that is pretty much what we can take away from this teaser. Now, let's talk story, right? Because I know we've been saying that the story has been pretty lackluster for the Tomb, but there's been a lot of setup for this map, and it all began back in Modern Warfare Zombies. Now, I understand a lot of people don't like Modern Warfare Zombies, and that's completely fair, right? It's completely fair that you may not enjoy it. Me personally, I love the mode. I think it's better than Outbreak, and I really want this mode to be something alongside round base, something that I can like switch to whenever I get bored of round base, whenever I get bored of the open world aspect, I'll go to round base. I think that variety is good. So, regardless of the fact, Modern Warfare Zombies still had a story, right? And it's pretty clear here, even though games that weren't fan favorites, aka Vanguard, right? It still had a story, and the story was still important because literally the main character from Vanguard was a character in Citadel Des Moines, which was Gabriel Kraft. And that played a huge role in that map because ended up being revealed that Kraft adopted Eddie in the future. um, so yeah. So regardless of the fact that people might say, "Oh, but Modern Warfare Zombies was in the future, and also the game wasn't super popular as well." I don't think they're going to follow through with the story. They're probably going to retcon it and such. I I disagree. This is Craig Houston who's writing this story, right? There's no way he's going to leave a stone unturned. He's going to use everything available. There's reasons why Liberty Falls was being built up in Modern Warfare Zombies. And, I'm gonna let Revive talk a little bit like about like how you felt about the Modern Warfare Zombie story and like how you feel about the story in general, like how everything is playing a role in this story so far.
So yeah, I mean, the Modern Warfare story, it was, you know, at first we were kind of confused, like obviously what was going on with the connection between the MW story at first and the everything else. But then after basically the beginning of it, it kind of gave us Ava, and then gave us a bunch of cutscenes, kind of giving us backstory, and and we obviously saw the four characters at the end dead, and we basically got a bunch of cutscenes, kind of simple cutscenes in a way, where all of them kind of basically had one purpose, and it gave one like goal in mind of what the cutscene was trying to tell to the player,
Hmm.
and every single cutscene kind of filled that role. Obviously one where she had the nightmares with the entity and all that. Then we had the one where Gray was explaining stuff about the past, and we had a couple about with her and Ravenov, etc. So we had a couple that were interesting. Obviously, I don't think there was much environmental storytelling in that, because obviously it's kind of hard to do that when the whole fucking map is basically Infinity Ward's map. Like there's not really like I don't know, it's just hard to tell a story like that. So it mainly was
Hmm.
in the cutscenes and the missions
Yeah.
themselves, so the stories were being told. But I thought it was a pretty good it wasn't amazing, but like at least we were kind of like filling in gaps, it felt like, and things were like as things got on, we actually felt like we were getting fed some information. But but yeah, that's kind of where I was with that.
Yeah. So I always, you know, when the story was revealed to be taking place in the future or in the modern times, I was like, how are you going to be able to do this? How are you going to play this out in Black Ops 6? Because, technically you're giving away what happens in Black Ops 6 because you're taking place after the events in Black Ops 6. But then as we go through the story, it pretty much became clear that possibly that there was a possibility that maybe this is part of the story. Maybe the timeline of the story has to go Black Ops Cold War, or actually, let me correct myself. It goes Vanguard, Black Ops Cold War, and then it goes Modern Warfare Zombies, and then it goes Black Ops 6. Even though Modern Warfare Zombies takes place in the future, but there's a plot point which brings Ava Jansen possibly to the past and voila to the mansion. Because when we
Yep.
saw that ending cutscene for Modern Warfare Zombies, we all thought, oh, she's gonna be at Liberty Falls. And everyone was going crazy. And then Liberty Falls comes out and she's not there. And not even Richthofen is in that map. So
Yep.
it's like, what was Liberty Falls? And I feel like that's where most of the disappointment for Liberty Falls comes from, because there was a lot of people really excited with that intro cutscene, the ending of Modern Warfare Zombies. Like there was a huge story to play here, but it didn't happen.
Yeah.
But now
Yep.
it makes all sense.
Yeah, because they kind of want to spread out this game, I feel like, which in terms of like we're gonna obviously have multiple locations in Liberty Falls. So at first we didn't really like realize what the importance and substance was of Liberty Falls, but in reality, it's kind of like 1/3 or 1/4 of the puzzle in terms of the
Yep.
Liberty Falls, location and experience. So
Yeah.
it was kind of like a piece things together type of thing where we it's kind of like basically the entirety of BO6 is meant to play out and explain and kind of get to that point of everything makes sense. And
Yeah.
after the MWZ story, it just took a while because we had to go through these steps. It
Yeah.
felt like,
Yeah. Because it seems like what they were trying to do, it was like, hey, we know we have set up a lot of things, right? We set up Project Janus, we set up Ava, we set up this, that. But we still need to present a storyline specific for Black Ops 6 Zombies, which is the whole Sentinel artifact. So now that we completed that, as we said before, this is like the penultimate thing. And I feel like we could say it's not just the penultimate chapter for Black Ops 6 Zombies. I feel like this is the penultimate chapter of everything so far for
yeah.
Black Ops Cold
Oh, yeah.
War, Vanguard, Modern Warfare Zombies, right? Because I've said this, I theorized this for a while, and a lot of people did as well. So the mirror, when Ava Jansen comes out, or is the Shadowsmith comes out, sorry. When Ava Jansen is in Liberty Falls and she's in that room, that mirror, a Shadowsmith appears, and then in the background you see like a mansion, like it's like the rooftop of the mansion. It's like a dome type of area and such. And when people went on Liberty Falls the first time and they get in the chopper gunner, they could see the mansion map from a distance, and you can make the comparison between the two, the mirror and the mansion from a distance in the chopper gunner, and you can see it's the same background. And now when you look at this teaser image, it's the exact same background as that mirror image. So, one, we might see the Shadow Smiths on this map now, and oh man, Ava Jansen might make an appearance. Maybe even Richthofen. It feels like everything is culminating on this map right now. How do you feel about
Yeah.
that?
Which again, I'm gonna be honest, bro. There needs there needs to be some payoff because there's just been a lot of dead air because it's felt like we were going full sprint when the Liberty Falls cutscene came out. Like everyone was so excited, everyone was pumped. Richtofen's back. The story, like this backstory, is being told, and his character was kind of getting developed a little bit. We saw who he was as a person, and then all of a
Mhm.
sudden, the game comes out. We get none of that really. Then we
Yep.
go 2 more maps where none of that happens. and it
Mhm.
feels like we kind of just let out, like we let out this breath of just like exhaustion after a while because everyone's like, bro, what happened? If we were going so quick and then we just there was a dead halt and everything stopped, and it's like there was so good of a buildup that I feel like Treyarch did not take advantage of. And I think this map, people, I don't think they'll understand this too. And this is where I'm going to kind of like rant a little bit. It's like it's so important for this map narratively to have another kick stop. Like, bro, when you look at all the great zombie maps in history recently, go to a map like Shadows of Evil, or I don't know, Garot Crovey, or Blood of the Dead, or all these maps where the intro cutscene sets the tone. It sets the pacing of the game, of the map, and what's going to happen, and it launches the trajectory of the map, and it gives you an expectation. It gives you a sense of mystery with the map and what's going to happen. And one, we didn't get that at all for the tomb, and two, if we don't get it for this map, I've seen a lot of people say, oh well, we got it for it was for the Liberty Falls because we were in the mansion. One, that was over 2 weeks ago by the time we're going to get there. So what does that have to do with anything? And at the end of the last map, we were told to go to or not to Ava, sorry, to the Sam AI, right? So why would we not confront her in a cutscene? Wouldn't that make sense? Our characters go to see her for the first time physically and go talk to her, because she even said she needs the Sentinel artifact. So if she's probably going to hold it to keep it safe. So why would you not have it to where they confront her? Like, wouldn't that be an interesting cutscene to set the pace of the map? Kind of like Revelations, where they go and see Monty. Like, where do people not get how important this is? It is such a vital part of zombies to get people excited for the story like this and kick things off. I get there's been the problems with the voice acting and all that, but at the end of the day, you cannot fumble this. People were so excited for this game. I've literally people that I haven't even played zombies since Black Ops 2 were telling me how excited they were for this game. They saw Rick Toffin again for the first time in forever, and they were getting excited. And then they just stopped caring. And they left all this dead air. And now people are trying to tell me that they wouldn't be surprised if there's no cutscene. It's like, what are we doing then? What is the point? Don't give us an outro then, because what's the point? You're just gonna spawn us into the map again, and not give any sort of initiative or any sort of mystery or confrontation, because we already know that through quote lines some of the characters are getting suspicious. So what happens when they confront each other? Like, especially because we've already had set the standard that maps like Terminus and Citadel have multiple cutscenes. So maybe we get 2 in-map cutscenes, top that off with an intro, and that's like 3 pillars of telling the arc of a story of a map. We've been missing that too. It feels like the connected arc of a map that especially maps like Ancient Evil did beautifully. We are not getting that after they kind of fed us that crumb in the beginning of the season. I felt like the story started off really good, and it's just been a fumble. And people are trying to give excuses, in my opinion, and I just don't think it's fair. I think we need to set our standards for the narrative experience higher. That's just my opinion, though.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Um, and the fact that you brought it up is like it's crazy to think how Terminus, right? Terminus, I think it had 4 cutscenes. It
Yeah.
had the intro, it had the mid boss, after the boss fight with Nathan, and then it had the pre-boss fight one, and then it had the ending one. 4 cutscenes. 4 cutscenes to tell a story. I
Yep.
wish they continued that for these other 2 maps, Citadel and the Tomb. The Tomb, I feel like it needed this big cutscene, but it
Yeah, there
ended
was
up
no
getting
there was no pace setter. Like, it was just, hey guys, plop, we're in the map, and here's the objective. Like, I guess it's a little more simpler of an objective, so it makes sense. But one, there's so many questions after. we get from the tomb ending to here, it's like, well, what are we doing with the artifact? What is the Sam AI going to do with it? What are the characters going to be suspicious of what she's trying to do with it? Is she telling the truth about wanting to save Sam? Like, there's going to be confrontation. There's going to be questions. There's going to be mystery. How can you just load up into the map when one, there shouldn't be an outbreak. The outbreak was already solved. So something has. Wouldn't the outbreak have to happen again? Like that's another thing too. It's like what they said that the Liberty Falls outbreak was contained. So
Yeah.
it's like what again? There's too many missing pieces here that I feel like a cutscene is needed. No, like it needs to give proper substance and explanation and pace setting and kind of like the first opening of a book, so you can have an opening and a closing. That's what zombie maps have been doing for years, and I don't know why we're trying to take back the standards there.
Yeah, because a lot of people are like saying like, no, there's not going to be an intro cutscene, but it's like it's crucial at this point. Okay, the tomb, I understand. Citadel sets it up well. I would not well, but decently, I
Yeah,
would
at
say.
least it's an attempt. Like it's okay. It's like
It makes
basically we got
sense.
told to go here and get
Yeah,
something.
it makes sense. You didn't really need a cutscene unless, maybe the artifact was out in the open in the dig site and like that was the cutscene. It started something. I don't know. Right. But no, they just went on and they said, go to the dig site. And we're like, okay, fine. That's okay for this. Okay. Even though the SAM AI tells us to find the mansion. Well, hello. Before we even enter the map, there should not be any zombies in the first place. You need a reason to
Exactly.
have zombies on the map. So if you don't start with that cutscene that showcases where the zombies are coming from, what what the heck?
Yeah,
You just
wouldn't there be a cutscene of them finding the mansion? Isn't that the whole point? I just
yeah.
realized that. Wait a minute. They're gonna have to show the cutscene of them finding the mansion in the first place.
Mhm. I mean, sure, they're gonna come from a helicopter, but like, there shouldn't be any
Or it could even
zombies.
be them walking up to it and kind of opening the mansion, or maybe they find the elevator and go downstairs or something, or whatever happens. There should be a kind of push and first explanation and what's going to happen and what the characters think and all this, because obviously Sam's going to come to them and be like, oh, you explain them this and that and the other, but it's just like, man, there has to be some level of like, I'm not trying to say they're not trying, but it just feels cheapened if you don't give us this. It's been the standard.
And dude, I just realized something. Just thinking about that Liberty Falls cutscene right now. There was a picture in the bedroom of Richtofen with his wife and child in the
Yep.
bedroom there. So wouldn't it be cool to see them, the main crew, walking into the mansion, looking in every corridor of the mansion?
Yep.
Weaver finds that picture and he
Yep.
recognizes who that woman and child is because he's the one who ended up getting them killed in the house fire.
Exactly.
That's
That's
how you
character
build.
building. That's
That's how you
that's
build the
character
character.
building.
And that's how you build
Yeah.
the arc for the characters in the map. Makes you
Yep.
want to care about the character because now Weaver is gonna feel guilt. Now he's gonna be like, "Oh man, I I created I created Richtofen in a way. Like I made him who he is, you know, and he's just getting revenge for what I did, you know."
Yep.
And then when it comes to like meeting Richtofen, yeah, they're probably gonna be like, "Oh man, I want to kill you," and then Richtofen's like, I want to kill you. You took away everything from me and such. You know, there's a lot of character development that needs to happen in this map, and it's gonna suck if it's not happening.
Yeah,
Because
if you don't have an intro, it's like you basically like it's like cutting off the fat. It's like what are you supposed to, or not the fat? It's like cutting off half the steak. It's like you're not even eating a full steak at that point. You're eating like fucking, a fucking snack. Like you're not building out the story. You're not properly letting it breathe. That's what I think the problem with this is, like you're not letting it fully, you know, develop, and it's like that's just the problem.
yeah, it really really comes down to this, right? the whole story relies on this map. And
Yeah.
yeah, it sucks that it's currently still a it's still a time with the voice actor strikes and stuff. But regardless of the fact, there's ways to tell a story. There's ways to tell a story. And an intro cutscene is very important for this map. Now, if they can't make the intro cutscene the way they wanted to because maybe they can't get the voice actors and such, okay, that's
Which, but
understandable.
my question is, what do you like? Well, if they, why can't they get them if they're gonna have new quotes? Like, what? I'm confused. How does that like? I don't really
This
understand
is
that.
this is the thing that I really don't understand how they do their voice acting and such, because in terms of like how movies or animated movies do it, is that basically the movie already has like kind of been figured out and such, and then they
Yeah,
kind of just they voice act for like a couple days and that's it. It's only a couple days, and then whenever the movie is getting edited, the animations need to mimic the actor's voice and such, all that stuff. I really can't explain it well, and maybe someone who knows the business well can do a better explanation than I do. But it's like that's how really the voice acting works. It's really a last minute thing, I would say, for them to do. Um, they're not. I think what was the game? I think it was like Spider-Man 2. Like a lot of people were saying, "Oh man, wait, you guys are starting the mocap stuff bef- on the year that the game is coming out?" But it's like it's just voice acting. It's not really that much that they have to do. The game is basically made already and such.
yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know if maybe before the voice actor strike, they literally read an entire script from start to finish, every single map that they had planned out. It's a
I don't think that's
possibility.
the case though. I think they're still. That doesn't make any sense to me because they've added new voice lines mid seasons without even maps dropping. There just been new voice lines added for characters.
There's
So I
new
don't.
voice lines.
Yeah, there's been new voice lines added to characters mid-season. Like I'm pretty sure, I don't know if it was this game. I don't know if it was season two reloaded or not. I think it was actually where they people were saying they even added voice lines. I'm pretty sure. So I don't understand that. That's to me that doesn't make any sense. How are you again? How are you going to record voice lines for a map that has specific narrative to it, but then you can't record voice lines for a cutscene? That
Hmm.
just doesn't make sense to me. Like I don't.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't know. Like the situation's really confusing, and maybe there's like rules and stuff in place that doesn't allow it to. Because the weird thing, right, is that with the whole Sam AI thing or the
Yeah,
Sam voice actress, right? We had the voice lines already in the game since launch, right? For
yeah,
Terminus, but then they had to change it. It's like, wait, why? Why they had to
yeah.
change it for that? Couldn't they just keep those lines there? But it seems like maybe you can't really have that because maybe it's because it's an ongoing live service game, so you technically have to
Which then would
change.
also see that's what my thing though is then that would mean that all the characters in this game that have already had cutscenes and lines and that haven't been replaced, that means they're not affected by the strike. So then there wouldn't be a problem with them recording lines, right?
Yeah,
Because
that
then they would replace
that
the
would make
old.
sense. That would
So
make
then
sense
all
then.
that's what I'm saying. So then the four main crew characters obviously still aren't like they might be affected by the strike, but they're clearly not. I'm pretty sure how it works. By the way, I'm not too caught up in this. It's been a while since I kind of read up on this and figured things out. But I'm pretty sure it depends on a case by case basis if you act against being involved while the strike is still ongoing. I'm sure, if I'm not wrong, I should say. I'm pretty
Hmm.
sure you can either decide to still work or not. If I'm not wrong, I don't know. I could be wrong, but at the same time, it's like so. Again, if that's the case with the Sam AI, then wouldn't the main characters have to also be retroactively replaced and recast in the past maps? Right? Wouldn't that be the case?
Hmm. Yeah.
You know what I'm
So
saying? Like,
yeah, I understand that. I don't know. It's kind of interesting. It's really interesting because like you would think that you keep on hearing the main characters talk and everything, and it's not a lot, but it's like they're still talking and they're getting the
Yeah,
main points of the map covered, like the intro and stuff. Even though there should be a lot more than that. Like the quotes videos that I see on YouTube, they're only like 15, maybe even less than 10 minutes for the tomb. And, like, if you look at older maps, you could have a lot of quotes for, like, an hour.
oh yeah.
So, I don't know what's really going on in terms of, like, voice acting and such. Is it maybe that, maybe they don't want to work to, like, do a lot of voice acting, or maybe they're limited? It's
It's so
confusing.
confusing, and it's so disappointing too, man. It's like this game was supposed to be such a peak for the narrative, and now we have to
Yeah.
ask ourselves these questions. And I just like a part of me is just like, man, I just want to see the game do well, man. I just want to see the story do well, and it's like I'm not gonna let this cloud my excitement. Like I just want there to be a part of me to just feel like, okay, I know all this stuff's happening, but like there's no way there's no way they're gonna really do 3 more maps of this game because I don't think the strike's gonna end anytime soon. So what are they just gonna continue with half-assed cutscenes that have one person speak within them or 2 people max? Like, is that
Yep.
really what we're gonna do the whole time? Like, I can't make myself believe that. I gotta believe that Treyarch somehow can figure out how to do this and figure out how to
Mhm.
make it feel like a normal. Because, like, bro, there would be such a jump to how the launch maps in Citadel were to the rest of the game. It just would feel awkward. It would feel weird. That it would feel disingenuous from Treyarch's perspective to give the consumer a product that obviously objectively has less of what the pre was there was predetermined already. So I don't know. I have to believe they're going to figure out a way to get through this and find a balance and be able to go forward.
Yeah, they really, and, you know Black Ops 6, like, man, we were so excited for the story, and even Treyarch said that, they understand that the intel system in Cold War, like, while and hear hear me out, I think the intel system for Cold War was perfectly fine. I think it was great, and the way the intel system is right now, it's kinda lame compared to what we got in Cold War. Um,
Mhm.
but like I told a lot of people, right? The problem with Cold War wasn't the intel system. The problem was Treyarch putting all the story in the intel system. That was the problem. The intel system, good. The way they used the intel system, not great. That was the problem and such. So here in Black Ops 6, right, they're doing it the way that they always done it, right? Main story focused when you're playing the map, intro cutscene, outro cutscene, and then whatever mid cutscene they want to add if they want to do that. And then the intel is supposed to give those little bits of, like, it's like a side thing. It gives a little bit more information to, like, stuff that you already know, but you learn a little bit more about, right? Like, you get a little bit more backstory on Kraft maybe from that and such. And, you learn what happened to him after Vanguard and such. And that's a great way. And then you have the main arc of that character going on in the main map of Citadel and such. But it seems that, Intel system doesn't have a lot. The radios are there's some radios that are good, but like some are just, I mean, yap. Yap,
It
yap,
feels like
yap, yap.
exposition. It just feels like exposition. There's
Yeah.
no character building. There's no like shock factors. Like it's very anticlimactic.
Yeah. And
Some of these.
it's crazy how in the tomb there's a radio between Ravenoff and Sam, right? Why
Mm.
is that a radio? Why can that not be part of the main experience, right? Why is that
Mhm.
not part of, like, the main gameplay of the map? I want to know this stuff. And cool, it's in a radio, okay, but like, wouldn't that be super crucial? Because you're trying to build Sam as a ally to these characters who is eventually going to betray them. We all know she's gonna betray them because we know she's been lying since day one.
Yeah.
Um, but like, there's like, you're not gonna feel anything when they get betrayed because there's been no character growth between it.
Yeah,
It's like,
there's literally been more like it's really funny to see because the only sense and semblance of character, driven moments have been the intel between the Sam AI and Richtofen, or the ones where Kraft was explaining his past with about Richtofen. Like,
yeah,
that's really been the only ones because everything else, it just feels like this is just they feel like they're just supposed to be quotes, but they're not. So it's
yeah,
like, what happened here? Like, it feels so weird. It feels so.
yeah. And it's kind of crazy, right? Um, because this is one of the this is why I love the Liberty Falls cutscene a lot. It's because we in Cold War were accustomed to believe that the director, until it was revealed that it was Richtofen, is this evil person torturing Sam, all that such, right? And then
Mhm.
obviously it was revealed to be Eddie, and we all know Richtofen. But like people who didn't know Richtofen at the time and did care about the story about Cold War, like they would know, like, man, this guy sucks and such. Why is he so evil? And then the Liberty Falls cutscene comes out, and then you see why. You see why the his character is like that because he lost his family, he lost his way, all that stuff. And you just don't get any build from that anymore. It's forgotten about because all the radios you hear on every map is making Richtofen to be this bad guy, right? But where's the ones where like you really show like how he's grieving still for his family? Like, man, I want more of that. Because I don't see Richtofen as this villain, right? I don't think he's the villain of the story at all. I honestly see him as someone who is just trying to do whatever he can to have some sort of happiness in his life. And we don't even know if he has the experiences of the previous story. Maybe he just wanted to be happy and such, and he didn't want to deal with zombies, all that stuff. But then he had to end up going back to all this stuff, the ether, all that. So that's missing, and it sucks.
Yeah,
And
and we even
that's why,
got the tease at sorry to cut you off, but we even got the
yeah,
tease like at the in Citadel. It's like, well, he at a certain moment of time, apparently the brainwashing, the help me out here, the what is it called from BO1? Brain uh
uh,
MK Ultra. He
uh
had
huh,
the MK Ultra brainwashing done to him, and we could maybe he that was when he actually started like, having nightmares about the previous timeline. So what if he unlocked memories and that changed him, or that changed his ideology, his goals? And what if Kraft was the one to unlock something in him to create him into this
mm-hmm,
and be like, okay, well, I want to make sure this never happens, or what you could possibly, whatever could happen, right? Like,
yeah,
there's just so many things that could be, and we just don't get any explanation for it. And I feel like we're gonna get to a point where there's just not gonna be enough time.
yeah. Because I feel like a lot of people are like, if Richtofen is in the mansion map, right?
Mhm.
I don't think he's gonna be in the beginning. He's probably gonna appear in the middle of it. Maybe,
Well, I
maybe
mean, I don't know. Thing is, they start off with a quote of his, so like, that's my thing. How is this gonna work? Like, is he gonna be like, is this gonna be like a diary entry thing where like he's just like it starts
yeah,
up when you hear it? Maybe like I'm not sure how it's gonna work.
yeah. Because the way I'm thinking, right? Because we know the betrayal is gonna happen. I think, Treyarch already knows that people know it's gonna happen. I think you can't drag it on any longer.
Yeah.
If you drag it on longer, it just gets to a point where it's like, oh, when are you gonna reveal your true intention, Sam? You know,
Yeah.
because I think they
Especially
kind of
because
just gave it
Richtofen's
away.
not there. He's not even
Yeah,
in his mansion, like, where it just would be too much like, "Well, what happened to him?" Like, the characters would clearly know. And again, it's like, I would think that they would eventually, ask too many questions to the point of that it would just kinda lead up to that. So
yeah,
yeah, it's gonna be I feel like that's why a cutscenes needs we needed. Imagine we have some sort of like more backstory, more explanation of Richtofen. Maybe something again like a diary. Obviously, he says he's recording an entry, so maybe we hear one of his entries in the cutscene. Maybe that's like maybe that's what happens. We see the characters go, and in the background, instead of quotes being said, it's his diary entry. And maybe that's
hmm
what happened. Again, there could be so many things that could happen to help lead up to the map that I have to believe there's gonna be a cutscene.
yeah. And what else I was gonna say? I kind of lost my thought there for a second.
Oh,
Um,
sorry.
no, you're good. Um, but no, yeah, it's like Rick Toffin's like this huge character you set up, and he's not even gonna appear until possibly now. And I think I remember what I was gonna say. So the way that I feel like DLC 3 or the whole Easter egg is gonna go is like first half is combining the Sentinel artifact with the elements that Sam said that we have to use, and from there, I feel like maybe there's a chance that maybe Richtofen somehow escapes the Dark Ether somehow. Maybe he escapes without Sam knowing, and he warns us, and then we're like, maybe the character's like, Richtofen, I'm gonna kill you or something.
Mm,
He just comes out, but and then he like warns us to not give it to her and such, and then we end up giving it to her because we trust the AI for some reason. Um, and then yeah, I
yeah.
feel like we screw up. It's probably it's the thing that I even said for Forsaken is like, man, everyone is always screwing up in the zombie storyline to cause these things to
Oh my
happen.
dude, yeah. You know what I just realized too is a quick little thought. So how did the Sam AI even get how did he even send him to the Dark Aether?
That is something that I'll not understand yet until it's explained. And this is the thing that I also hate is like there is no explanation in like Liberty Falls or something how the SAM AI really works and how it was built up to be this AI and like how it was used, how like it is using the containment device from Forsaken and such, and how is like it has cord effects and possibly Sam inside of it. I I don't
You know
know.
what's
It's
interesting too is because wasn't there a line, I'm pretty sure, I don't know, I forgot which map it was, if it was the tomb or the Citadel, but I'm pretty sure didn't Richtofen say something of the sort like, it shouldn't have to ask, where it is or something like that? Wasn't that a quote?
I think it was in Citadel.
Yeah, like, is that maybe kinda tying into somehow, like, it's actually Sam's soul that maybe got,
Yeah, like
that because we obviously know what happened at the end after in Firebase is she got, what's it called? She lost her memories.
yeah,
So is that a repeat to where maybe initially it was supposed to be an AI, but it's actually, the
Sam.
real Sam? I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why she has the powers?
Yeah, maybe. Because I actually watched the Liberty Falls cutscene again, and the way the Dark Ether moves out of it is like the little like cloudy esque thing, which is the same way actually. It's the same way how the in the Modern Warfare Zombies intro cutscene, the first cutscene for Modern Warfare Zombies, it's the same
Mhm.
way how that thing flows. It's the same way. It's like something is controlling it, you know.
Yeah.
Um, so it's really interesting how like a lot of things like you can pinpoint in from different stuff and like kind of make some connections, but like still there's still no backstory. There's no build up. There's no meat to the sandwich here, you know?
Yeah. No, yeah,
This is
for sure.
so that's really it for like the Dark Ether story, right? Like the whole story relies on this map, honestly. Because if you mess up the story on this map, why would people care about the fourth DLC at this point,
Yeah.
right? Um, you know, cool, we got the Sentinel artifact, and I'm happy about it. But like, it's like this: you're bringing this whole other like story element from a different story, and you're not incorporating the big things from that story, right?
Yep.
You're not introducing the what's it called? The knowledge of prima materia and all that stuff. Because I don't it's so weird. It feels like they're changing so much stuff. It's like now it doesn't feel like prima materia is going to be this like thing about knowledge. It's just going to be an element to something, really. That's
Yeah.
what it feels like. It doesn't feel like what it was in Chaos. Like you complete the trial in order to gain the knowledge of prima materia. But here it's just using it's just an element for for whatever Sam wants to do. I mean, I really hope the story is good for this map.
Yeah, it has to
Because
be.
if
It's
it's
it's hard to make or break.
yeah, because I don't think a lot of people are gonna be excited with the fourth DLC if the story doesn't,
Yeah, a
end
lot of
on a
people are already
banger.
fed up as it is too, so, like, you really can't
Yeah.
screw this up.
You really can't screw it up. Look, people let it slide for the tomb because they understand what it is. But if you're saying that if the leakers are saying that it's the mansion is going to be similar to like the tomb in Liberty Falls, well, okay, if you want to do that, fine, but do not, and I mean do not mess up the story. Give
Yep.
the
No,
map
exactly.
all the story you need.
It's gotta be narratively deep, like Ancient Evil. Like, Ancient Evil is a good example. It's like, obviously, the gameplay is great, but there's not a lot of side Easter eggs.
Yeah.
And to cover up for that, the story and the mystery and the climax and the ending, it's like everything kinda, like it feels like a narrative experience, and they
Yeah.
have to do it for this map too. This is what this map has to be.
Yeah. So, real and also, like, Ancient Evil, jeez, you brought that up, it's like, damn. I remember how, like, the Oracle, right? No
Mhm.
one thought it was Medusa until you go through the entire story of the map, and, like, people started to put things together and like, "Wait, maybe she is Medusa." And then
Yep.
boom, you get to the ending cutscene, confirmed, it was Medusa. And, like, bro, like, stuff like that is
So you compare it to
missing.
now, it's like, bro, we already know this stuff like 6
Yeah.
months ago, and now we only get it now we get it explained. Like literally at the end of Liberty Falls intro cutscene, we know the fact that she is basically lying to
Yeah.
the crew. So it's
She's lying.
like, and we're just gonna let it drag and drag and drag and drag.
Yep.
I don't know. It's just weird to
Yep.
me.
Yep. That's pretty much the Dark Ether story for DLC 3. It's either make or break. So Eric, you know, please
You
hook.
gotta come
Rick
through.
Houston, hook. Come on, you gotta
Yep,
make
yep.
this like a Netflix series or something.
Also, really quick too, I don't know if they will, but I hope we get another COD pod where the devs start speaking too, because at least then maybe they can explain to us like, okay, this is what to expect and this and that, and maybe by then we'll have the intro. So like, I just would like to hear from the devs again. Give them a little bit more like, breathe to room to talk about the map and stuff.
Yeah. Agreed, agreed, agreed. And I think the fact that you brought up the COD pod, I think that could also bring us to this topic of quality versus quantity.
Yeah,
Because it's April. It's going to be April when season 3 launches, and if this map drops season 3 launch, DLC 3 would release in April, which is unheard of. Usually DLC 3 releases in either July or August. And nope, we're getting it in April. um so this brings up the question, right? You know, quality versus quantity, right? Um is it better to have the quantity of map, right, that we have right now? Because by the time the mansion map comes out, we're going to have Liberty Falls, Terminus, Citadel des Morts, Tomb, and the Mansion. 5 maps, right? And BO4 had 6 maps by that time in March. I believe. Yeah, it was 6
Yep.
maps. And the crazy thing is that while there was a lot of, quantity in BO4, especially at launch, um, the quality of the maps was still there, you know?
Yep.
There was so much quality to the maps. But here, right, we're about to get the 5th map, and it feels like the quality is just not really there. Now, we already talked about the story and such, but like gameplay wise, right? Gameplay wise, you're bringing back the same old enemies and such, bringing them back again and again. We're starting to see, them reusing wonder weapons again because apparently the mansion is going to have the Wonder Waff and different versions of the Ray Gun Mark II. I don't know if it's gonna be like the Alpha Omega ones and such, or it's gonna be new ones. I don't know, but it's like you already have Liberty Falls, which changed the jet gun, and then you have the Tomb that brought in the ice staff, and then the mansion's gonna bring the Wonder Waff and the Ray Gun Mark II back, possibly. So it's like only 2 maps got new wonder weapons.
Yeah.
Terminus and Citadel des Morts. And I mean, like, it's just like I don't really know how it's crazy
And
because I
I
could
mean,
say
even the
like,
swords, like, they're not, like, super new ideas either. Like,
yeah,
we've seen elemental wonder weapons before, and especially some of the abilities before, like the
yeah,
Raven sword and the fire, like, we've seen these abilities before.
yeah. It's like I don't know. It's like, I could easily say like, man, Treyarch should be able to do this because they've done it before, but it's like, it's different time, different people working on different modes maybe and such. So it's so weird how like we go from like BO4 with like a lot of quantity but with quality to BO6 where there's the quantity but the quality is just not there
Yeah.
anymore. And I don't know how this is going to work. Like I don't know. Let me ask you this: like, how do you feel? Right? How do you feel about getting DLC 3 already for Black Ops 6? Would you prefer to have it now, or would you have preferred to have it, later on, knowing that you're gonna have, quality to the map?
Well, I'll be honest, I just don't see any way that I don't correlate in this situation. I don't correlate time to, like, the maps, what the dates it's dropping to if the map's gonna have extra quality or not. Because these maps are now, now there are parts of the maps that are taking last second, like the cutscenes and the mocap. One thing that's not is usually gameplay design and mechanics and features. Those are available way ahead of time. So
Mhm.
I personally do not believe if we waited an extra month for this map that it would do anything. Because one, we know they work on maps basically 2 to 3 DLCs ahead. And the rumor is right now, by this time next month, the entirety of the rest of the BO6 DLC cycle is going to be set in stone, like they
Finalized,
already
yeah.
have finalized. Like, yeah. So to me, I have no doubt in my mind that every single release date up to this point has been a set in stone thing. It's not been pulled up, it's not been pulled back. Everything's been set in stone. And the quality of the maps is completely a decision. And I think it's because I think right now people are not talking about this, but I think in a way Zombies is going through what Call of Duty multiplayer went through. And people aren't really thinking about it like that. But I think what's going on is that back in MW2 and MW19, there were so many seismic changes and shifts to the core Call of Duty mechanics that people were in outrage. They were outcries that it changed the base mechanics of the game. And I feel like we were in that same position, but the reaction was not correlating like that. If people
Mhm.
understand what I'm saying, and I think that alone is why we don't feel the quality because these are design decisions from the developers, and we're not getting the same amount of quality of depth. We're not getting all these unique features because I think this is just how they build maps now. Kind of like how Infinity Ward started building their maps that way, not giving a mini map, right? No dead silence. They chose how they wanted to see how their guns are, that every gun's going to feel the same. Like these are specific design decisions, not something with time that would change. These are top level decisions.
Mhm. Yeah, I can definitely see that. As someone who has played zombies a lot in the past and, really enjoys a lot of those old maps, you know, I you know, I love the quantity, right? Because
Hmm.
it just shows me that they really care about zombies this year,
Yeah.
which is good. It's good because, for the
Yeah.
past 4
They did
years,
this. Yeah.
sorry to cut you off there, but,
No, you're good. Yeah, you're good.
yeah, but, like, for the past 4 years, we really have, or 5 years, I would say. Oh, no, no, 4 years. Sorry, 4 years, because I'm not
Yeah.
counting 2025. Um, yeah, for the past 4 years, we really didn't get round-based, focused content, and even their marketing for Black Ops 6 is round-based is back. And I think
Yep.
they really lived up to that, and I'm not gonna deny them that. I think they
Yeah,
lived up
for sure.
to what they set up for Black Ops 6, and it's great. Phenomenal, phenomenal. But I do wish, as a fan, right? While the quantity is great, I do wish there's a little bit more quality. And when I mean quality, I mean it's like depth to more side Easter eggs, right? Because when you do side Easter eggs nowadays, right, what is it for? It's for a free perk. It's for maybe a free wonder weapon,
Points.
points. It's like there's nothing
It's
really
all stuff that
interesting.
in the game you can already get. Like you basically all it's doing is time saving. That's all you're
Yeah,
doing. You're saving time
exactly.
uh for things that are already in the game for mechanics and for resources that are already you know gainable from the map in the map already. There's not any specific unique items that are exclusive to these side quests and these
Yep.
mini quests to get these items anymore. And that's been the problem. There's just been none of that. There's no like really the only one was the golden armor. That's been the only real example. But even then, it's
Yeah.
like that's a good step. Obviously, that's a great step. And I just want to say I think they've had really good intentions this year of listening to the community. I think they've done a really good job at that. I just think that they have to take the next leap of faith, and I'm really hopeful that they do. But like, dude, that's what I'm saying. That like, there's not these specialist weapons where we're getting like crazy gauntlets or freaking Ragnaroks or all these different things that are specific to one map. These like I don't know, there could be so many things that they could do. Like in the mansion, think about like Dead of the Night, where we open up secret rooms and stuff and getting special knives and all these different items that you can't get normally, that you can't
Yep.
just buy through an armory station or a crafting bench. Like that's what I think is missing. That's what I think is
Hmm.
missing from the mode.
I think like one map that really I like how side quests were incorporated in that map is Blood of the Dead. How
Yeah.
like every side quest in a way had a background story related to like Alcatraz and such.
Hmm.
Um so I wish there was thing with that in like these maps. Maybe in the tomb, right? Maybe you could have had some, maybe some chaos elements, like chaos story stuff that could have been like little side Easter eggs. And it's like it's little teases in a way that eventually maybe if they really wanted to dive deep into chaos like full on, right? Like these maps were teasing it in a way.
Yeah.
Maybe like a side Easter egg where it changes the wall buys to the chaos wall buy. It's like a tease, it's like a little
Hmm.
tease in a way. That gives the map a little bit of depth. It gives it a little bit of, a uniqueness to it. I think a lot of people would are playing the tomb because they like the golden armor Easter egg as you brought up. You know,
Yeah,
it's like side Easter eggs like that like are supposed to pull people in, not just the main Easter egg, right? The main
yeah,
Easter egg is there to tell a story and all that stuff and have a great boss fight and it's a great gameplay to have with friends or solo and such. But side Easter eggs as well is like if you just want to play zombies normally, these are things that are supposed to pull you in. It's supposed to pull you in. Like a lot of people would, I don't know who would go for like the golden spork knife in Blood of the Dead, but I would definitely go ahead and do it because it's a fun thing to do and it's pretty challenging to do. But it's a pull factor in a way. And that really gets you wanting to play that map a little bit more
yeah,
and
and the
such.
theme and the
And the
theming of the
theme.
maps too.
Yeah.
There used to be themes. I feel like now it's like what's the theme of the tomb? What kind of what's the word I'm thinking of? Just like what brings out the theming of the tomb? What
Hmm.
weapon? What really does that? I don't. What happened to that? You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like now they try to overuse just the environment to try to tell you what the theme is. But back in the day, we had specific, things like Gersh devices for Ascension that kind of brought you like this is the theme of the map. Like this is what's going on with also the spinning thing and Spawn. Like the combination of the environmental storytelling within the map on top of equipment and weaponry and all these things combine to make theming of a map, very clear to the player. And I think
Yeah.
that's where we're missing. Where we got the one half right, where they kind of are getting back to like this is the cool environmental, wow factor type of thing.
Yeah.
But we're missing the hey, like think of Mob of the Dead. What would like it would feel kind of weird if all of a sudden we don't have the tomahawk, we don't have the sport. Like it just like those two things are such a vital part of the map, the vital part of remembering the experience of the map. And to just have that not happen, it would take away the experience of what it means to be on that map.
Yeah, and another thing as well is like the idea of theme, right? When Citadel was getting um, or marketed,
Yeah.
they were bringing up the whole theme about magic, magic,
Mhm.
magic, and zombies, magic. But there really
The only
wasn't
magical
magic.
thing was a freaking amulet that we got the last second of the Easter egg. Like that's like what I'm saying. It's like what like
Yeah.
bro, like
Okay,
I don't know.
you could say the swords were magic, but it's like I mean, it's just a
Bro, what
wonder
if we
weapon,
got a
but that's
okay,
not.
hear me out. What if we earn the ability mid-map to like have like a magical like what's it called? Like a wall that puts up like a mini front shield that has like a bunch of the symbols from the walls. Like we earn that maybe through like the first step of the Easter egg. You know how cool that would have been? That would have been so unique that like pop like a mini field upgrade to where it has like a whole frontal shield when you pop it and it has like all these symbols flying out and it kind of protects you. Like that's cool
Yeah,
stuff that's only specific to the map that you're on that gives it the character, the life. Like those are the
yeah.
things we're missing.
Yeah, it's like yeah, I would say also I think the problem also comes down to is like some of their gameplay mechanics, right?
Yeah.
The crafting bench. I think it's cool and all, but I feel like it also takes away a little bit, right? Because you can just craft any score streak, you can craft anything at that point, right? So there's really they're probably thinking in their heads, okay, if people are going to be crafting grenades, casmirs, mutant injections and all that stuff, they're probably like, well, we don't really need to make a special equipment because it's not really necessary because there's other things in the crafting table that are probably better than the item that we possibly want to create. Wouldn't it
Yeah.
have been cool if their whole theme about magic, right? Why couldn't they like if they wanted to keep the crafting table cool, but make the items in the crafting table surround the theme of magic.
Yeah, true.
Make it surround the theme of magic. That would have been cool. You know how many people would go back to Citadel just to experience that because of the theme of magic? I
Sure, that is
remember
very
I rem
true.
I remember a lot of people were talking about, man, I'm gonna watch like all these things about what's it? I forgot his name. I forgot that wizard's name that people were saying. It was wizard. I don't remember what it was. Wizard some. It was something. Um,
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I don't remember. But like people were like really diving deep into like the magic lore of possibly what Citadel was
I
gonna
mean,
be.
think about it this way, like all the stuff from the Chaos story, like the special grenades and all that, like wouldn't that be cool if like in the crafting bench they were just replaced with like imagine we just magically had wraith fires or those acid bombs or anything that just felt more mystical. Like a grenade that just felt more mystical. And no, we
Yeah,
just got the same old grenades
it's
and the
the
same
same
old
old.
frags and the same old C4s
Like
and the
they could have
same
changed
old
the
like
Molotov.
it's
They
just
could have changed Molotovs
Molotovs.
to ray fires.
Yeah.
Gives it a
Or like a
unique
grenade that
meaning.
throws out purple smoke and it like teleports the zombies up in the air or something and then they
Yeah.
die like random stuff like that that could have been so cool and adds to the map.
Yep.
And then you could
That's
add
the type
upgrades
of
to those grenades and stuff like
yeah.
you could do so much with it and it feels like they're capping themselves or maybe they don't have enough time to do this stuff, but it's just man I just wish they would have thought about more than just the maps themselves. Think about the sandbox of what you're playing in the map.
Yeah. Because I feel like that's what they should do, right? Come come with a foundation. Come up with a foundation for the map that they want to do, right? All right, we want to make a mansion map. Cool. All right. So this map, right, it's not gonna have magic and stuff because it's just a mansion near in a nearby town. So what could be our theme? Maybe they can go back to the science theme and such, right? They're
It was a
definitely going
facility,
back.
we know that. So like
Yeah,
maybe there's going to be a lot of secret like
secret
uh
laboratories,
secret laboratory, secret I'm trying to think of the word um
maybe
safes and stuff like
prototypes,
that.
maybe
Yeah, like
prototypes of.
prototypes. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Like secret prototypes have to open, or there's different safes and there's different things that we have to unlock and we have to find codes and stuff like that. Like that would be kind of cool. Like it would make you feel like, okay, this is a mansion, but it's also a facility where they did a lot of the Project Chance testing. So would make a lot of sense. Like kind of like with the Liberty Falls theming a little bit, but like on the scale 100 because it's literally um one of the facilities. And then on top of that have the environmental storytelling.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. That's that's what I really want Treyarch to really focus on. Cool, you want to make a lot of maps, great. But make sure you have a pull factor for each map. Because really, people are really determining what map they want to play really comes down to what they're finding enjoyable. I feel like a lot of people will play the tomb because some people will play the tomb because they don't want to use mutant injection because mutant injection for high rounding is the most boring. It's so boring. I'm
Oh, it's
sorry. It's
so
like
boring. That's the one of my reasons why I've actually high rounded it a few times because I just can't stand mute injections. It's so bad.
yes, it's so boring. That's why I do the tomb because I can use the wonder weapon to get to a high round and such. Um Citadel, I think I mean, Citadel, you don't really need the mutant injection anymore because the oil trap is so OP and such. Um, but and the swords, yeah, I guess the swords will be a pull factor. But like the swords, you won't really use them for high rounds, really. I mean, you'll
Yeah,
probably use
exactly.
the Raven sword and such, but it's just not like the best weapon
It's
ever
just
to be high round.
I'll be like after using the staff, it's just like I still believe this. Like, okay, imagine you have to get 25 like normal ice shot kills before you could use the charged attack. It would not be fun. No one would have fun doing that with the ice staff.
Oh
One,
yeah.
the high rounds would be useless. You would not be able to high round because you would have to do the small shot kills, which take forever when you're on high rounds, just to get a charge attack. So it's like that's my problem with the swords. Is they're melee weapons, but the entire point of an elemental wonder weapon is use their elemental ability, and you can't even do it until like 2 minutes of getting normal zombie kills.
Yeah.
it's just that's my problem
Yeah.
with them. That's
And
the
then
cap.
like Terminus is like the Wonder Weapon, it's good and all, but like now like people have to use like this like reloading, like throwing a
Oh yeah,
decoy something.
yeah, I saw
But like
that.
I'm like, what is the fun of that? Just like reloading in a corner just to use the Wonder Weapon whose
It's no fun.
reloading thing is like the only thing able to kill the zombies. It's like it just is like Liberty Falls is good because it uses a combination of jet gun and score streaks. I still don't like score streaks in zombies because I feel like I mean,
Yeah,
it's
I
okay,
agree.
but it's
It's
like the
okay, but
mutant injection is just something that shouldn't be in the game. That's my opinion. Honestly, like people could disagree with me, but I don't think the mutant injection should have been a score streak. If anything, it should have been like a side Easter egg only for Terminus because, like, honestly, the mutant injection fit the theme of Terminus more.
yeah, because also now think about it this way. It's like it's the only way to get to high rounds on some maps, and if you took it out, then like the balancing, like it just I don't know, it just to
It
me it's like
ruins.
there it hurts the map because it feels like there's
Yeah,
this artificial thing that's added that doesn't feel like it's supposed to be there with the map. It just
yeah,
it's so bad to me. It's I
yeah.
that's why I at this point just take out score streaks. Like I don't they like there's what is the real purpose honestly? Like what is the purpose at this point in the
And
game?
and and and,
I
and
don't
the
know.
thing as well is like, bro, like the chopper gunner, like it's pretty much useless on the useless. I said useless. Useless on the tomb unless you're outside.
Yeah. And their part is too is their aerial streaks, so like there has to be an outside portion of the
There
map.
has to be an. It's
It's
so
like
stupid.
to me, it's like honestly, if BO7, I don't care. At this point, I don't care if they take out because obviously by the way, we haven't got to the news segment that we're getting double tap back. So that's something we're getting double tap back.
Oh, double tap back. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even get to that because that's been some big news recently. But we're getting double tap back. But what I was gonna say is, I would not even care if they don't change anything to the next game in terms of the mechanics. If they just take out score streaks and add in unique things again to every single map, that would be fine with me. I don't care about starting loadouts. I don't care about uh what's it called, pack a punch tiers or whatever. I don't care as long as you take out score streaks. So everything's not just infinite kill with mutant injections or chopper gunners or whatever, and just add unique equipment items and all these different things again. That's it. That's all I'm asking
Yeah.
for at this point.
Yeah. Yeah. That's pretty much. I guess quantity versus quality for us. It, it's really comes down to how Treyarch wants to make these maps. You know, design, all that stuff, and these maps are being developed on the foundation of Black Ops 6, and they already have that foundation in mind. Oh, people are going to be using score streaks. People are going to be triple tapping. People are going to be upgrading rarities. People are going to be using their loadout weapons. People are going to possibly hit the box and just get their loadout weapon, etc. They already know how the gameplay works for Black Ops 6, and they're going to revolve the map around that. So maybe it's time for them to figure out like what do we want to do here? Do we want to limit ourselves and the maps because of the gameplay, or are we gonna make the maps that we used to make before because we love making them and we really love to do the crazy stuff and such, but we're just not gonna care about the gameplay at the moment. Let's just do that. It really comes down to Treyarch at this point, and that's my only hope for um DLC 3. And I think that kind of leads us to our final topic here. Are we excited for DLC 3? Um
Yeah.
yeah, Revive. I'll let you start. I'll let you start.
Okay. So I will say, obviously, I want to see the next teaser because I think there is a chance, depending on what happens in these teasers, that narratively, I think I will be excited for this map. I think there's a very good chance I will be excited narratively for the map, depending on what these teasers are, especially if we start getting little teasers that there's going to be a cutscene, right? So I think in that way, I'm going to be excited. The gameplay wise, I don't know. Like, obviously, I'm excited to just like see how the map is, how the Easter egg is, the hunt, and just see what happens with that. Like, I'm interested in that. Obviously, but I think there's more of a ceiling to my excitement for the story based off of the early parts of just the fact that they're already showing up. The fact that they put the first tweet about the map, they say the word Richtofen, knowing the community's been begging for Richtofen. Like, to me, it kind of feels like they're trying to finally give the community what they want in that sense, like show Richtofen. Like, by the way, we didn't mention it, but Nolan North literally like 3 days ago said to a fan apparently like the next few zombie updates are going to be really good for you guys. And he did this last time at Liberty Falls where he said this and like 2 days later the Liberty Falls cutscene came out.
Yeah.
So I think for the story I am excited. The gameplay I don't know how much, because if we're just reusing another Wonder Weapon again and not doing unique things, like I will have to see. I don't know if I'm gonna necessarily be super excited, depending on all those factors.
Yeah. Me, I mean, look, um, have I been playing Black Ops 6 Zombies a lot recently? Not really. And I think it really comes down to once again the whole idea of like a pull factor. There's really no pull factor for me. I mean, right now the only pull factor I have is like the cranked mode because I want to finish getting those rewards and such. I mean, that's a pull factor, but that's for a limited time mode. It's not for the base game. I wish the base game had more, you know. Um when I used to play Black Ops 4, the pull factor for me was the Easter eggs because they just had great stories, great ending cutscenes. Man, you would see me doing Blood of the Dead like almost every day,
Oh
just
yeah.
because I want to get to that ending cutscene. And I absolutely love Blood of the Dead's Easter egg. I don't care what anyone says. I think it's a
Oh,
great
me
Easter
too.
egg.
I actually did it a little while ago, like I think it's like a month ago now with Xbox, and like it's actually just such a fun time just going through it again and playing it. Like
Yeah.
it's again, it's like that thing where it's like it's like a book in itself. The map is a book. You have to start with the intro cutscene, then you have all the Easter egg. It feels like you're going through this entire chapter of a book, or this entire book with all these chapters in it. It's great.
Yeah. So I mean DLC 3, right? I am excited for the story because I feel like we're finally getting to a point where everything we've been waiting for is finally going to get answered. So my expectations are high for the story. Now, if they don't reach them, I'm not going to blame myself for having high expectations. I'm really just going to put the blame really on
I mean,
like
yeah, Drake
the
literally said
situation.
Richtofen as the first word in the freaking the
Yeah.
first sentence in of
I'm
the hype for the map.
I'm really just going to put the blame really on like the circumstances happening right now and like I don't really want to blame Treyarch, but like I kind of have to because it's like this
I
is
mean, yeah, they
your
literally put
story.
Richtofen in the first sentence. Like they kind of
Yeah,
like they know what they're doing.
yeah. So like story wise, I'm excited. Gameplay wise, I'm a little bit more excited now compared to when the teaser dropped because there's not gonna be any amalgams or abominations on this map,
Oh, yeah, thank
which is
God.
okay, gameplay wise, I'll probably be playing this map a lot more because I don't like to get grabbed or
True, bro.
laser fucked or whatever.
That's another reason why the tomb is good in the high rounds, because you don't get grabbed.
Yeah. Um so hopefully we get a new enemy type. And if we are getting a new elite enemy type, can we please get a new special or special round type? Please, I'm tired of spiders and parasites. Please, can we get like hellhounds again? I don't give a damn if it's hellhounds. At least it's something new, you know.
Yeah.
Just make the map feel new, please. Because I feel like so far every map feels similar in gameplay. So it would be a nice change of pace to have this map feel different. So yeah, gameplay wise, I'm a little excited. Low expectations though. Story wise, super high expectations because everything has led to this. So this is like big moment right here. So Treyarch really needs to live up to it. Like I don't care about any voice actor strikes anymore now. I need me story. I need
Yes.
me to see Richtof and I need to see some betrayal. I need to see some drama. I need to see character interactions. I need to see Carver finally say something for once. Yeah, all that stuff.
Yeah,
So
exactly. We need it.
we need it. But I think that will conclude today's episode. A bit of a long one. But yeah,
Yep.
DLC 3 it's coming out in the next couple of weeks. So if we get an intro cutscene, you already know me and Revive will get on top of another episode right away.
Yep.
And yeah, whatever comes out in terms of season 3, any big changes for zombies, doubt it, obviously. But if there are, we will definitely talk about it. But definitely let us know any topics you want us to talk about in the down periods between, map releases and such, because we are eventually going to get to a point where they're not going to be releasing maps every season for zombies, so it's going to be interesting how we handle, content and stuff like that. But, if you guys, let us know what topics, you want us to discuss, we'll gladly talk about it. But that'll be it for the Wunder Bar podcast episode number 4. So that is all, ladies and gentlemen, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.